Okay, peace, peace, peace. So we're back with the reading. And so, yeah, Uranus is your most prominent planet. So ultimately, Uranus, you feel me? It's a planet that it deals with electromagnetism, electromagnetic energy. You feel what I'm saying? It also deals with innovativeness. It deals with science. It deals with change as well. So with all this being said, with you having Uranus as your most prominent planet, it's an indication that you are a conduit for those things, a conduit for change, for innovation. Um, when I say science, and of course correlated with Uranus. Uranus is a planet that deals with new thought, new information, if that makes sense. Um, but also Uranus is a planet that deals with influence and it deals with influencing others. You feel what I'm saying? And also like with the Uranus energy, because it deals with being influential with others. It's a good when you have your Uranus prominent. It's good, for example, to get into fields where you're influencing people. Uranus being prominent can go on to produce fortunate results. You feel me? And like cells, if that makes sense. But ultimately, Uranus is the planet that deals with the higher octave of Mercury. So what this means, it deals with, um, hold on, I gotta think about this. So ultimately, I'll leave it like this. You feel me? So Uranus is all about uniqueness and originality. It's all about creating an expression, creating a life where you're not like everyone else, but you actually stand out. You feel me? Um, that's very much like the Uranus energy. And so, yeah, like the more that you can stand out and be yourself and allow yourself to be a channel for new energy and new information to come through, the more in alignment your life as well will be. Feel me? So, if I'm not mistaken, Uranus for you is in the 10th house. Yeah, so if I'm not mistaken, you have Uranus in the. Hold on, let me check for you. So yes, you have Uranus in the 10th house in the sign Sagittarius. So this indicates that, you feel me, for you, business is of great importance, of great prominence, you feel me? And it's like the more unique you can be and the more disruptive in business you can be as well, the more success you may attract. Right, I already talked about this, I feel. I'm pretty sure in my last video I talked about unconventional and untraditional means of businesses and how that can work for you. You feel me? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, with Uranus being in Aquarius, it's of great importance for you to get into. My bad. With Uranus being in Sagittarius in 10th house, it's important definitely for you to get into business. And this can be marketing as well because, Sagittarius, it deals with advertisement and the sharing of opinions and things like that. So, you will be I'm pretty sure you're already in business for yourself. If you're not like going into business of yourself in your chart, it shows that there will be success in doing that. Sagittarius is a sign that deals with the higher mind. Um, it also deals with traveling, tourism. It also deals with religion and philosophy and higher education. You feel me? Things like that. So business that deal with the Sagittarius energy, you feel me? would be of great benefit and value for you to get into as well. So this can be like um, getting into being yourself a thought influencer, like something of like a preacher or something like that. You know, there's very much in the line of Aquarius, or even a teacher, but specifically a professor type of energy. You feel what I'm saying? Aquarius is also a literal energy, but it deals with sight. It deals with vision. You know, so like an individual who's a visionary, right? Someone who is a seer. You feel what I'm saying? So like Uranus is very much a rebellious type of energy as well. It's a futuristic type of energy as well. So ultimately, with this energy, to close it up, you're like here, and you're here to help rearrange the way that we do certain things. You feel me? And it may even be, especially in the realm of like philosophy and religion, possibly. And if not, then it can be in the realm of like travel. Yeah. But all right. So let's go into let's look at your next most prominent planet. So after Uranus, the moon comes in second. You feel what I'm saying? So your moon is in the first house. Your moon is in the first house, and it's in the sign of Aquarius. So with your moon being in your first house, right? The moon is the planet that deals with your emotions, how you react, how you respond. But it's also a planet that deals with how you nurture others and how you care for others, but also how you want to be nurtured. You feel me? The moon is the inner you. It is the you that's emotional. It is the you that is more private and more vulnerable. You feel me? This is the aspect of you that you don't just allow everyone and anyone to tap into, but only those closest to you, right? And so with your moon being in your first house, this is an indication that you are the type of person who is very sensitive, especially to yourself. You feel me? And the things that have to do with you, and you're a personal person, meaning that you make things personal. You feel me? And like with the moon being in the first house, this creates a type of person who is very self-aware, self-conscious. You feel me? So you know what you like. You feel me? And you know what you don't like. And ironically, Aquarius is the type of sign that has strong likes and strong, dislikes. But with your moon being in the first house, like self development is of great importance. You feel me? Getting into self help books and things like that, would be of great value and benefit to you. Aquarius in of itself is a sign that deals with information. And so the accumulation of information for you in your life tremendously do great value and benefit for you. So the more you can learn and the more information you can accumulate, the more sense of emotional like security and stability will also follow. You feel what I'm saying? Because yeah, so you have Aquarius in your moon, and Aquarius's doctrine is I know, and it belongs to the series. So energetically, its energy belongs to um the energy of like knowledge. And so what I mean by this is like anytime there is a congregation of people, right? So that are religious. So because it's a Sagittarius and Aquarius energy, of course. So Aquarius just deals with groups of people gathering together. Aquarius also deals with people sharing information. But ultimately, yeah, Aquarius deals with databases, libraries, things like that. So it's like for you, it's important to accumulate information, especially information about yourself, and really learn who you are and where you came from and what you're capable of and things like that. So the first house, it's a sign that deals with the body as well. And with you having, I think you have your sun, my bad, I think you have your ascendant My bad. I think you have your sun in the sixth house, is what I was trying to say. Yeah, so with you having your sun in the sixth house and then your moon in the first house, right? Both the sun and the moon are planets that deal with health and vitality, and both the sixth and the first house deal with health and the body. So you are naturally blessed with great vitality and great health. You know, you are a very healthy person, a very vital person. It's like even when you get sick, your recovery time is shorter than most people's. You feel me? But at the same time, um, and these qualities of yours may be dormant, but you also have a natural ability to help guide people towards healing. You feel what I'm saying? Because the sixth house is a house of healing, from the perspective of um, herbal medicine, having healthy routines that deal with health, healthy routines that deal with health. Um, you feel me? And things like that, but just being very conscientious about your body and about like your health. You feel me? So these are all Aquarius. These are all Aquarius. I mean, not Aquarius. These are all sixth and first house things. You know, being cautious of the body and things like that. So you are a type of individual who is very cautious of, you know, your physical body and your health and stature and the way that you look and all of these things as well. But ultimately, with the first house being here, um, you have powerful emotions. You feel me? Like you have an ability to feel things intensely. You feel me? Yeah, intensely. And so, like the Aquarius energy, my bad, not the Aquarius energy. Like this first house energy, it can go on to produce people that have like intense emotions. Um, but like from a standpoint of yeah, intense emotions, but I don't think these people they don't really express their emotions outwardly, but they more keep it within. And this also has to do with Aquarius. You know, Aquarius does deal a lot with repression. You feel me? Repression of emotion. So it is important that you learn how to deal with your emotions and you learn how to confront emotions. You feel me? From your past, but also those emotions that are continuously happening today. And this means, you know, learning how to not hold grudges, learning how to express love, kindness, joy, and happiness, you know, but also learning how to deal with negative emotions when they surface. Like with the moon being in the first house, the moon has a lot of power when it comes to being itself, right? And the moon being itself means the moon is tuned into its emotional nature and etc. etc. Like, you know, they all deal with the same energy in a sense. They're all in the same field of like you needing to sacrifice a part of your heart chakra. Um, not even sacrifice, but like, you know, just you needing to use your heart chakra for that work. But ultimately that's when the moon rules the sixth house, the work becomes in one based on emotion and one based on like you feel me? One where it's more personal and it's more personal and you may find yourself working with more domestic um, things and creating more emotional connections with the people you work with. You feel me? Mhm. Okay, so now let's look at Jupiter, as Jupiter is the upcoming most prominent planet. So you have Jupiter in the first house, and Jupiter is also in Aquarius. conjunct. It's not conjunct. Actually, yeah, it's conjunct. You have Moon, you have Jupiter and Aquarius conjunct the Moon. Okay, interesting. So Jupiter is in the first house in the sign of Aquarius. So what this means is that first and foremost, you're a type of like with Aquarius being in the first house even, you're not really a selfish person. You're not per se self-centered, but you're tuned into a frequency where you have an ability to um take into consideration other people as well. You feel me? And Aquarius's strength, right, is its ability to, and I'm pretty sure I already said this in the previous reading, is its ability to be selfless, with its um actions. Like Aquarius have this ability to dedicate themselves to a mission for another person where they don't even benefit or profit from. It's like Aquarius will do something for someone even though there's nothing in it for them. And so that's a strength. And with Aquarius, with Jupiter and Aquarius in the first house, it indicates that you're a sort of person who is selfless like that, in the sense that you wear your sleeves. My bad, you wear your heart on your sleeve. So with Jupiter being in Aquarius, automatically, even Aquarius in the first house, this makes you a person who is drawn and attracted to occult knowledge and information. You feel me? To yeah, just information and knowledge in general. As Aquarius is also a scientific sign, very curious and has a desire to, collect information and break things down and understand why and how. You feel me? So with Jupiter and Aquarius, because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, it's a planet of abundance, and it's a planet that deals with faith, religious thought cells. And when I say religious thought cells, I mean like um, hope in a higher power, believe in a higher power. You feel me, guidance and all those things. And so, like for you, ultimately, it's like so. Jupiter also helps us understand like how the divine, in a sense, channels through us. Yes, how the divine essentially channels through us. So it's like with you having that Jupiter and Aquarius energy, you feel me? When it comes to your ability to like network and connect with people, for example, it's like in general, the better you can network and connect with people and just have a network, meaning know people and be connected, the better your life will be. You feel me? As you have Aquarius in the first house. But it's like in the process of socializing and connecting and networking with people, um, you also attract Jupiterian people. And so what I mean by this is God may come to you through strangers. Hmm. Or or God may use you as a vessel to like influence and assist other people, strangers, if that makes sense. But ultimately, also with Jupiter reading Aquarius, it's an indication that you have great abilities first and foremost when it comes to your comprehension ability, your ability to comprehend and understand things. You feel what I'm saying? Um, like if we're to talk about occult information and universal truths and things like that, because Aquarius very much signifies intelligence. It's said to be the highest intelligence. You feel me? Being the last air sign, it signifies the highest intelligence. So with Jupiter in Aquarius in the first house here, you're a channel as well. You feel me? And when you learn to silence your mind and listen to the quiet, it's like when you quiet your mind, you tune out of this world around you, and then you tune on to a higher frequency. You feel what I'm saying? So when you learn to do that, you feel me? To still your mind and calm your mind, and just sit in stillness, then you know, you'll start to hear revelations, meaning things being revealed to you, but through like thoughts. You feel what I'm saying? Because Aquarius very much is a sign that deals with channeling as well. Aquarius deals with electromagnetic energy, and so this can go on to produce like you having some sort of influence on electricity. This is a possibility, you feel me? But ultimately, Aquarius is a psychic sign, you feel me? And they have a natural affinity towards psychicism, meaning that if an Aquarius was to go into psychic practice, they would become psychic faster than any, well, not any other sign, because, you know, Pisces, Gemini, Cancer are pretty psychic as well, you feel me? Scorpio, they also have natural psychic tendencies, so if they delve into psychicism, they become naturally psychic. But Aquarius, you know, they definitely are natural clairvoyance, for instance, meaning like they have all the clairs. They can learn to develop all the clairs. It's like I said earlier, right? Aquarius signifies the higher intelligences. So, and Aquarius also signifies the faculties of the mind, which I'll share um first, you know, like the clairvoyance aspects of things. Aquarius has an ability to tap into the spiritual world. And when you're tapped into the spiritual plane and you're utilizing the senses of your soul, your ability of perception broadens. You feel me? You're able to see more things, if this makes sense. That's the Aquarius energy. Okay, that's the Aquarius energy ultimately. So Jupiter in the first house in Aquarius. Right, this also produces a benevolent person, someone who's very selfless and caring, you know, and wants to help and wants to service others. Feel me, all that good stuff. um, people Jupiter and Aquarius also become great personal, like not personal, like so great social workers, for example. They just become really good with working with people, and they have a natural ability to like lead people and hold on, natural ability to like lead people and manage people. You feel me? And and I was look at and I was look at well, let's also talk about your moon aspecting conjuncting, or I should say, Jupiter. So your moon and Jupiter are in conjunction with each other. And so what this does is it makes for a broader awareness and perspective. So it's like even when you're reacting and responding, right? And earlier I did bring up like um energies of like self-doubt and negative energy, but it was like at the same time, I didn't take into consideration this conjunction between Jupiter and the moon. So like with Jupiter and the moon conjuncting one another, the way that the energy plays out here is that like you're a type of person who has an ability to see the broader perspective, the bigger picture. And you're a type of person who has learned through life experiences the importance of thinking positively and positive emotions. You feel me? And Leo will show you that as well, because Leo is an optimistic, cheerful sign. But yeah, so it's like with the Jupiter conjunct Aquarius, it's like it's important to trust your intuition and to trust your feelings and your emotions, because a lot of the times your emotions and your feelings are tuned into higher frequencies. Hold on. Um, yeah, not tuned into a higher frequency or a broader perspective. You feel me? Like you're not a person who cries over spilled milk often, but you're the type of person who seeks like the reason in life and seeks to expand. You feel me? The yeah, expand, like expand the reason and the purpose. You feel me? So when something happens in life, you don't just take it for what it is, but you kind of are philosophical with it. You feel me? So it's that conjunction right there. Okay, now let's look at Mercury. So Mercury is the next. Wait, my bad. Before we look at Mercury, let's look at the houses. The house is ruled by Jupiter. So um, we have the 11th house, which is in the sign Sagittarius, and we also have the second house. Okay, so Jupiter rules the 11th house, which is the house of associations and associates. Um, my bad, public associates and networks, you feel me? The 11th house is the house that deals with um, relatives, specifically long distance relatives, that you don't see often. Um, yeah, Aquarius. Wait, my bad. Yeah. So that's what the 11th house is. It's relatives, people that you associate with, in the public world also. And so with Jupiter ruling the 11th house, being in the sign Sagittarius, you feel me? This is an indication that when it comes to like your networking and like your public experiences with people, you may find yourself attracting more people that are benefic, meaning positive and optimistic and wanting to help and assist you, rather than people that are negative. You feel what I'm saying? With Jupiter being in Sagittarius, this is an indication that like you've probably been enlightened and received a lot of illumination from strangers that you found yourself associated with. Because that's what the 11th house is. It's like strangers that you don't have deep connections with, but like you kind of are connected with them. You feel me? But it's not that deep. Like for example, me, the way we connected, because like of our connection, it not being so personal, it's more of an 11th house energy. And what I'm doing for you is very Jupiterian and Sagittarius like, because Sagittarius and Jupiter govern higher knowledge and higher awareness. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, with the Sagittarius in the 11th house being ruled by Jupiter, which is in the first house, um, in Aquarius, you may find yourself inclined to attracting a lot of people that are very knowledgeable and informative and may have an ability to like give you guidance and insight. Um, or people that may, yeah, okay, I guess I'll leave it at that. Yeah. And then, so let's talk about the second house. So you have your second house also ruled by Jupiter, and it's in Pisces. So with your second house being ruled by Jupiter, the second house is the house that deals with money and finances and wealth, you feel me? And possession values in general. And so, hold on, Aquarius, Pisces, Pisces, okay. So Pisces, right, it's a sign, well, Jupiter is a sign of expansion. So with Jupiter ruling over your second house, it is an indication that when it comes to like finances and resources and money, like you have always been looked out for. You feel what I'm saying? Pisces is a sign, right, that deals with, for instance, like universal welfare and caring for others and things like that. So it's like Even like if you were to not have it, like someone would look out for you, like Jupiter, right, is a benefic planet that blesses and that takes away hardship and sorrow. You feel what I'm saying? And so, like with Jupiter being in the second house, it's an indication that there are blessings that come and are dropped into the department of life that deals with money. And it's like if you were to integrate God, you feel me, into life and like then that would also contribute to more wealth and finances because like the Pisces energy, it's a sign that it's some serious is the belief series, meaning that it deals with beliefs and its doctrine is I believe, so it's all about belief. So it's like when you cultivate the right beliefs, like money will value in general, because the sixth house is the house of value. Values will come to you. You feel me? Because like the Pisces energy is tuned in to the second house, the house of money. So it's like whenever you do things like get around crystals maybe that are Pisces or objects that are Piscean, so things that are like the darker shades of purple, you feel me? Things like lakes are very Pisces like. But more so specifically like belief and prayer and things like that, are also very Pisces like. And so these things are more tuned into your second house. So yeah, money will find its way easier to you through the channels of Pisces than through any other channel, if that makes sense. But at the same time, because Pisces is a worrisome sign, there can be manifestations of worry when it comes to worry and anxiety. Um, they may manifest. But like with the second house being ruled by Jupiter, this also indicates a benevolence on your end too, a benevolence of willingness to help and you feel me, like help people from a financial perspective if you need to and when you need to. You feel me? So that's cool. Jupiter on the second house, um, but because it's in the feminine sign, it may be a little more negative, but it still contributes to you having a more like not spiritual, but you having a more abundant mindset. You feel what I'm saying? Abundant mindset rather than scarcity mindset. Okay, let's now Mercury. Okay, Mercury. So Mercury, you have Mercury in Leo in the seventh house. Okay, so Mercury also has great influence over your life, but Mercury, the way that Mercury influences and expresses your life is through like the department that deals with relationships. So Mercury is the planet that deals with thought and thinking and logic. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and so a lot of that energy is channeled into um relationships, the other, thinking about another. You spend a lot of time thinking about your significant other, you feel me, or like just your relationships in general. Because the seventh house it not only rules intimate relationships, but like let's say you and your father rather I should say. Let's say like you and your father have like a great relationship, right? Then like that's a seventh house relationship. But this the seventh house it just deals with personal relationships, you know what I'm saying? And so with Mercury being in Leo in the seventh house here, you spend a lot of time thinking about personal relationships. But from also a perspective of how you may be able to influence said personal relationships. So being a fire sign, right? Because you have Mercury in Leo. Mercury in Leo, like Leo being a fire sign, um, your thoughts are more um vi vi vis vi visual. I was trying to use another word that meant visual, visceral, visual, visceral, same word. So it's more visceral. You feel me? It's more visual. So you're more imaginative. You feel me? You may see things like when you're thinking of something. There is also a accompanying image of those thoughts of that thinking. You feel what I'm saying? I hope you feel what I'm saying. So with Mercury being in Leo, right? These when Leo goes into when Mercury's in Leo, it produces more optimistic, positive thoughts. But there can also be this like tendency of lingering on thoughts. Leo being a fixed sign, where you may overly think about things, and so this can be good when your thoughts are positive, but it can be negative because Pisces, oh my bad, not Pisces. Leo is a sign that deals with desire as well. You feel me? It deals with energy. And so when certain thoughts, when you think certain things, those things um are more likely to be vitalized faster than any other person thinking. I hope that makes sense. What I mean by this is like there's certain thoughts that don't have weight to them. You feel me? You think of this thought and it passes by. You feel me? But then there's other thoughts that do have energy and emotion to them. And when you think about them, they're vitalized. And with you having Mercury in Leo, your thoughts may be overly emphasized or vitalized. Um, yeah, where it's like, because the fire signs are signs that deal with feeling. You feel me? So like when I say vitalize in thoughts, it's like sometimes you may find yourself being so deep, like so deep in your head, like so deep in your head and having put like this whole show that's not even real, if that makes sense. So like with the Mercury and Leo energy here, right? This creates a person who is very expressive, you feel me? Who when spoken or not spoken, when you speak, people listen, you feel me? Like you may have an ability to naturally draw and attract people. And with both the Sun and Leo, my bad, both the Sun and Mercury being in the same sign, this indicates a gift of gap. You feel me? An ability to express yourself. But ultimately, with Mercury being in Leo, you feel me? It's Mercury and Leo, like the thoughts are more visual, right? So like I feel like that is something you can definitely take um extract value from, in the sense that now when you think, consciously think in conjunct with images, you feel me? So allow yourself to visualize as you think as well, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. So pretty much, yeah, like with this energy here, like it's a higher frequency of utilizing Mercury when you think in conjunction with images, with visualizing. You feel me? So if you're thinking about something, and it's like a lot of the times your thoughts are about some sort of partnership. So when you're thinking about the partnerships, also visualize, and think about, yeah, also visualize it and think about the outcomes. Hold on, but I wonder if you have, because I think you have Mercury opposing Jupiter. No, you don't have Mercury. You do not have Mercury opposing you. Okay, no, you don't have any of that. So, but yeah, that's the Leo. That's the Mercury in Leo in the seventh house ultimately. So it's like because hold on, let's look at what houses Mercury rules before we get into ways in which you can channel your thoughts. Okay, so we have Virgo in the eighth house. Interesting. So we have Virgo in the eighth house, and we have Gemini in the fifth house. Gemini in the fifth house. Okay. So with Mercury ruling over the eighth house, um, so the eighth house, it's a house, you feel me, of like hidden enemies, for example. You feel me? It's not like a happy-go-lucky house, but it deals with like hidden enemies. My bad, not hidden enemies, but open enemies actually. But it does deal with like trauma. You feel me? And the subconscious mind. But from the perspective of the things that dwell in the subconscious mind, that can be likened to skeletons in a closet. You feel what I'm saying? Um, so the eighth house is the house of the things lingering beneath your subconscious mind that can be likened to like quote unquote the monster underneath your bed. Huh. So yeah, okay, so it's like the eighth house. You from it deals with the things that you may need to transcend and you may need to heal from, heal through. Um, okay, interesting. And so with Mercury ruling over your eighth house, hold on. Think you have a planet. Think you have a planet in the eighth house. Let me look real quick. Yeah, do you? No, you don't have a planet. Nope, you have a planet in the eighth house. So, like with Mercury ruling over your eighth house, this is an indication that like right, and even like with what we talked about. My apologies. So like my camera died, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close up the Mercury and then I'll end the session and then I'll complete your reading tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, like with Mercury, like the eighth house ruling Mercury, this is an indication that like a lot of your quote unquote um opposing energies, which we can term enemies, may manifest more so through like the mental plane. Um, so I guess like the best way to put it is like your greatest enemy could be like the thoughts within your head. Um, like honestly, fortunately enough, like with you having the eighth house in Virgo and there not being that much activity in that eighth house, indication that there really isn't much going on in the eighth house in terms of like um enemies or like harm or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So that is a positive, right? Yeah, okay, but like anyway, to move on to like the fifth house, which is in Gemini. So you have Mercury in the fifth house, and so the fifth house, my bad, Mercury ruling over the fifth house. So ultimately, the fifth house is a house that deals with like the sex life. It deals with entertainment. It deals with like dating. Deals with children, offspring, looking over kids, things like that. So um, this is an indication that like for you, that department is very mercurial. So like entertainment for you, you may like to entertain yourself more through like the outlines that deal with knowledge and intellect, so you may prefer entertainment that stimulates your mind over entertainment that's just, where you don't learn anything. You feel what I'm saying? So you might like to entertain yourself via learning and educating and accumulating information for yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Um, and you may also find like conversing, especially conversing with like your loved ones, you know, those closest to you, to be of the most satisfactory when it comes to entertaining yourself. You feel what I'm saying? Um, yeah. And so when it comes to like, right, with Mercury being in the fifth house, like you are a very experimentative individual, right? Like you like to try new things. You're pretty fun and experimentative. You feel me? Like when it comes to the department of life that deals with like the sex life and things like that, right? So it's like the Gemini energy and it's ruled by Mercury. But yeah, so here, let me leave it off with you with this. So as you're receiving all of this information, the better you know your birth chart, like for example, we just talked about like your fifth house, right, which is the house of entertainment. So it's like now that you know that, you will naturally have an inclination towards entertainment that deals with education. But this can also be childlike entertainment. Like it can even be like you may like adult cartoons or something like that. Or you may just be fascinated with children in general. You feel me? You find them entertainment. Because Gemini is a childlike energy itself, you feel me? So understanding this, you now know that like let's say you get bored and you want to entertain yourself. So you may go online and maybe look at a podcast, right? Where they're like entertaining a watch, but you're learning something. And thus you have attained alignment with your energies. And so, you feel me? Or I guess a better example is like we learned that like Jupiter rules your second house. So when it comes to like Jupiter rules your second and your 11th house. So when it comes to like the second house, right, money and value. So now you know that if you desire to accumulate value, regardless of what it is, that you can tap into that Pisces Jupiterian energy, and that means like getting into your emotion, getting into belief, praying and having faith, even like yeah. But that's the cool thing about astrology. It helps you gain more alignment, if this makes sense. But yeah, so we will continue your reading. Unfortunately, my camera died, so I'll see you soon. Peace.